Okay, then I call the public hearing to order on the proposed local law 1 of 2020, a law to override the tax cap being held on October 13th, 2020 via teleconference using Zoom with YouTube live stream to the public. This is due to the novel coronavirus emergency state and federal bans on large meetings or gatherings, and pursuant to Governor Cuomo's executive order 202.1 issued on March 12th, 2020. Is that, what's the ringing for?
That's okay, just keep going. I let the public in because you're starting to read, you brought the meeting to order.
Okay, I just didn't know if I was doing something wrong with the
No, you're okay.
facility here. That's all. Just
You're doing great.
Okay, so we call the meeting to order. There's no pledge and no flag present. So now we'll do attendance roll call. Supervisor Oberly here. Councilwoman Cunningham. Nancy.
Here.
Councilman Giuliano.
Here.
Councilman Dean Michael.
Here.
Councilman Witten.
Here.
Town Clerk Mackin.
Here.
Okay, so so we have a quorum, so we can conduct business. The town clerk will now read the public hearing notice.
Please take notice that the town of Clinton will hold a public hearing on October 13th, 2020 via Zoom, starting at 6:15 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon thereafter as the matter is reached on the agenda concerning proposed local law number 1 of 2020 entitled A Local Law to Override the Tax Levy Limit for Fiscal Year 2021, pursuant to New York General Municipal Law, Section 3C. The public is invited to attend the Zoom meeting and comment on the proposed local law. Members of the public who wish to comment at the public hearing will be able to do so by joining the meeting via Zoom, electronically, or by telephone. The passcodes will be published on the town's website, townofclinton.com, by noon on October 12th, 2020, which will enable the public to participate in the meeting. The codes can also be retrieved by emailing Town Clerk Carol Mackin, townclerk@townofclinton.com on October 12th, 2020 until 3 p.m. on October 13th, 2020. The local law will take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. Complete copies of the proposed local law are available at the Town of Clinton Clerk's office for inspection during regular business hours. All interested persons and citizens shall have an opportunity to be heard on said proposal via Zoom at the date and time aforesaid.
Okay, before
Back to you.
You done?
Yes.
Okay, before I open it for public comments, I just want to make a short statement just so everybody understands what's going on. The town must pass this local law to override the town's tax cap and pass it before the adoption of the 2021 town budget, which normally occurs in November. At this time, it is not certain we will be under the town's calculated tax cap, so we must have the local law in place if needed. If we approve it after adoption, it doesn't pass muster for the state. So that's just a little background. I wanted to bring that forward. Now, if you want to make comments on the public hearing, just be sure you tell us your name or something so we know who you are so we can identify it with the minutes. Who wants to be first? Desmond, you want to be first, or Maddox, or Tony, or you're just listeners? You have to unmute yourself if you're going to talk.
I'm listening.
Just
listening. I'm listening.
Oh, just listening? Okay, you can do that. I just want to be sure I don't miss comments because people are too shy. This is a new process that we're going through, so we're all stumbling and learning our way through.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Okay, Tony or Matixek, whatever that is. Unmute yourself if you have any comments. We will wait probably another 5 minutes in case somebody hops on to the Zoom and has some particular questions. This is pretty much a ritual that we do every year just to be safe. Most of the time it's not needed, so it doesn't matter. But if it's not there, we have a problem because we are not by law supposed to go over the tax cap without having this local law in place. Oh, okay, Tony, I got your just listening. All right. Now, this is not typically a very exciting public hearing on this topic. I'll wait to 6:25 and nobody else pops up,
Maybe, can you,
has a question. We'll end the public hearing and get ready to start the regular town board meeting at 6:30.
Go ahead.
can-
Who?
yeah,
Go ahead.
can you hear me? Sorry, it's Katarina. I just had a question. So, you know, as you say, you do this every year. Is this essentially just hedging the town budget to get flexibility to increase it if you need to? Or,
Yes.
okay, so you don't know yet how much,
Well, there's a proposed budget, but we
Okay,
have
so
to go through it all.
so it's the one from 2.18 to 2.24? Is that the proposal? I saw the budget proposal on the website.
Yeah, we just started
Okay,
talking on
Okay.
Thursday nights. We'll be going through, like last Thursday, we did the highway, and this
okay.
coming Thursday will be the general fund.
So there is a change potentially. So, I mean, this year, a lot of people, you know, the real estate market is quite different from other years. And, you know, potentially assessments will go up quite a bit. So that could take care of it, right? So instead of increasing the tax rate, you might just end up with higher property values in the area.
Well, the budget takes into consideration what we estimate the revenues to be, and it takes into consideration the proposed expenses. And could it change throughout the year? Sure.
Yeah, I mean, the
That would
assessed
not
value,
that would not get rid
Yeah.
of the need for the tax cap override.
right. The assessed value in the budget seems to be the same as last year. So they may be understating a little bit, right? Maybe. I'm just asking. I'm
Yeah,
just
the
trying to
value
understand
does
how it works.
affect. Yeah,
Yeah.
the real estate values do affect the percentage of the change.
Right. Okay. That's all I had. I just wanted to understand what the,
Oh, thank you.
but I did see the draft budget. So it seemed like it was, yeah, proposal to increase from 2.18% to 2.24. That's how I saw it anyway. Okay, thank you.
Tony has a question. I'm not sure if it.
Yeah, I saw that from Tony. We don't know. Until we go through the general fund, we only did the highway fund, which is pretty much standardized. Okay, you need so much salt, you need so many people to run snow plows and stuff like that. When you get into the general fund one, which is this Thursday, it gets much more complicated. Do you need more constables? Do you need more effort for this clerk or some other clerk? Or do we have too much in the highway, not in the highway, in the rec fund? should we buy sand for the beach or not buy sand? So it's all kinds of stuff all over the place. It's not standard from year to year. We always have to figure it out and work our way through it and balance the increases and decreases and try to be under the cap. But we got to be prepared to be over the cap if that becomes an eventuality. Did that answer all the chats?
Tony was also asking, what is the target to meet it?
I don't know what target.
Well, originally it was 20,000 over
Yeah,
the not going over. So it's around 20,000, but we made some changes last week. So it's more like 27, 28,000 right now, but that doesn't mean we're not still making changes.
yeah. There was a significant change asked by Michael Whitten last time to remove the 115,000 that was for the library from the 414 referendum that they had. Last year he asked for it to be in, so I put it in. This year he asked for it to come out, so I took it out. So that's a big swing. So I don't know what the outcome's going to be. The object is not to increase, but you never know. Okay, it's 27 after. Anybody else? Last question, comments? Okay, that being the case, hearing no further comments, I make a motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
Second, Dean Michael.
Okay, we do a roll call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Whitton,
Aye.
motion carried. So now we'll do adjournment. I make a motion to adjourn the public hearing. Is there a second?
Dean Michael, second.
Roll call, Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Whitton,
Aye.
motion carried. So the public hearing is closed. In about a minute or two, we'll start with the general meeting. Is it time to start, Carol? I got 6:30.
6:30.
Okay, we'll start. This is the regular town board meeting on October 13th, 2020, being held via teleconference using Zoom with a YouTube live stream to the public. This is due to the novel coronavirus emergency state and federal bans on large meetings and or gatherings, and pursuant to Governor Cuomo's Executive Order 202.1 issued on March 12th, 2020, suspending the open meetings law. There is no audience participation allowed in this meeting. At this time, I got to do a roll call attendance to ensure that we have a quorum. Supervisor Oberly here. Councilwoman Cunningham.
Here.
Councilman Giuliano.
Here.
Councilman Dean Michael.
Here?
Councilman Witten.
Here.
Town Clerk Mackin.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. So we'll start off with the agenda items on the business. The first one is approval. Well, it's several minutes we got to approve. I make a motion to approve the minutes of the September 8th, 2020 special meeting. Is there a second?
Dean Michael, second.
Okay, roll call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham.
Aye.
Giuliano.
Aye.
Dean Michael.
Aye.
Witten.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next one is to approve the minutes of the September 8th, 2020 regular town board meeting. Roll call. Oberly, aye.
We didn't
Need a-
get a second.
You need a
So Dean Michael,
second.
second.
Oh,
Thanks,
second.
Dean.
Okay, Oberly, aye. Cunningham.
Aye.
Giuliano.
Aye.
Dean Michael.
Aye.
Witten.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next set of minutes. I make a motion to approve the minutes of the October 1st, 2020 special town board meeting. Roll call. Oberly, aye.
You need a second, Ray.
Dean Michael, second.
Thanks.
Oh, second, right. Okay. Oberly, aye. Cunningham.
Aye.
Giuliano.
Aye.
Dean Michael.
Aye.
Witten.
Aye.
Motion carried. Now I have just a few supervisor comments to offer at this time. The 2021 budget process with workshops began on October 8th for the highway fund portion of the budget and will continue on October 15th for the general fund portion of the budget. Both workshops begin at 7 p.m. to hold them in person in the town hall. The 2021 budget will be the only item being discussed. The 2021 tentative budget is available on the town's webpage, which is www.townofclinton.com after October 1st, or at the town clerk's office. I encourage residents to sign up for the town's free MailChimp email service to notify residents quickly of important activities or issues they may wish to participate in. To get on the MailChimp service, just go to the town's webpage, www.townofclinton.com, click on subscribe in the upper right corner of the homepage, and follow the simple instructions to get on the mail list. That's all I have right now. Now we'll go into old business. Okay. The first item on the old business is approval of the local law following the public hearing we had. So I'm just sort of repeating it just for the minutes for completeness. The town must pass this local law to override the town's tax cap and pass it before the adoption of the 2021 town budget. At this time, it is not certain we will be under the town's calculated tax cap, so we must have the local law in place if needed. Okay, I make a motion to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves the resolution number 41 of 2020, adopting local law number 1 of 2020, entitled "A Local Law to Override the Tax Levy Limit for Fiscal Year 2021." Is there a second?
Dean Michael, second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call. Oberly, aye. Cunningham.
Aye.
Giuliano.
Aye.
Dean Michael.
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. Next item is Councilman Witten introducing a local law.
So the proposed short-term rental law was previously introduced in January 14th of 2020. There were two public hearings that were held open, and a third was scheduled for April, but was suspended due to the novel coronavirus and the resulting restrictions on large meetings or gatherings by executive order. We are now ready to finally move forward again with these. So I would like to make a motion, be it resolved that the town board approves resolution number 42 of 2020, reintroducing the local law regarding short-term rentals, and further that a public hearing be held on the proposed short-term rental law via Zoom video conference on November 10th, 2020 at 6:15 p.m. Do I have a second?
Giuliano second.
Okay, there's a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that for the rules for the public hearing, members of the public who wish to comment at the public hearing will be able to do so by joining the meeting via Zoom, electronically, or by telephone. The passcodes will be published on the town's website, townofclinton.com, by noon on November 9th, 2020, which will enable the public to participate in the meeting. The codes can also be retrieved by emailing Town Clerk Carol Mackin at townclerk@townofclinton.com, beginning November 9th until November 10th, 2020 at 3 p.m.
Okay, any further discussion?
So are we going to bring back all of them? Because then should we not do the farm, not per se that night, but I'm just saying if we're going to start bringing back things, we also left open the farm event law as well.
Sure, I'm
Yeah,
for
we
that.
should do
So then
that.
I'll introduce that next month.
I'll have that information for you, Dean,
Okay.
the entire road.
And Shane had updated some other things because we're doing changes to, or we're adding in the event law. He also made some changes to the current law for the conference centers. So I'll pass that around so everybody has it.
Okay.
Okay. No further comments? Then we'll go into roll call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. New business. The first one is Duchess Land Conservancy on a property called Meadowbrook Farm. Okay, Aaron Hoagland from the Duchess Land Conservancy will discuss the details and reason for placing the Meadowbrook Farm, formerly Webster Farm, on Schultzville Road into their land conservancy. So at this time, it's Erwin's time to talk.
Thank you, Ray. I just want to point out that our Director of Land Projects, Karin Rue, is also in the meeting. I also wanted to ask, only because I got a call from the landowner, that it seems the live video claims to be private at the moment. So I don't know if that's an issue that can be addressed so he can watch. If not, then maybe he can just catch up after, but I thought I would just point that out. Also wanted to ask if there are any conflicts of interest if anyone lives adjacent to a farm property or has personal relationships.
No, not that I know
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for having us on the agenda tonight. As Ray said, we'll be talking about the Duchess Land Conservancy's plans to apply to the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets to their Farmland Protection Implementation Grants Program for funding to purchase development rights on the Meadowland Farm property and place a perpetual conservation easement on the land. So I'll be presenting the details, running through some materials that you were hopefully provided, and ask that the town board vote to endorse the project and provide a letter from Supervisor Oberly expressing support and endorsement. And there is a draft of that letter that was provided that, you're welcome to edit as you see fit, but just to kind of provide an outline for what we're looking for. So Meadowland Farm consists of 117 acres owned by Michelle and Judah Krashauer under the name Louis Fields LLC. It straddles Schultzville Road and also has quite a bit of frontage on Salt Point Turnpike on its eastern border. Judah and Michelle purchased the property almost 25 years ago and have since made the farm available to young and beginning farmers in need of land. Since 2016, young farmers Mary Kate Shalemi and Chris Hausman have been operating a diversified, organic, and biodynamic vegetable and fruit operation, and they sell their produce in the on-site farm store on Schultzville Road, to local restaurants, at farmers markets, and to a small group of CSA members. In the last couple of years, the Krashauers have identified an increased demand among consumers for healthier meat products. So in response, they've welcomed just this past summer of 2020, an operation called Premier Pastures. And that's the second farm operation on the property, also operating alongside Mary Kate and Chris's vegetable and fruit operation. And Premier Pastures is a hormone-free, grass-fed beef, woodland grazed pork, and pasture-raised poultry operation. The Krashauer family not only provides the land, but they also play an active role in management of the farm store, the farm website, marketing of products, serving as extra field hands whenever it's needed, and supporting the farmers who lease the land. Future plans for the farm include adding the Krashauers' 3 adult children, who are also very involved at the farm, to the Louis Fields LLC ownership, and eventually conveying the farm property to them. And their children are supportive of keeping the property in agriculture long into the future and operating the land as their parents have. The Krashauers are also committed to making improvements to facilitate efficient operation of Premier Pastures as they continue to get established on the property, and to address impacts to climate change on the land, including impacts from longer, drier summers, which decrease access to natural water sources, requiring more irrigation, inconsistent heavy rains that lead to flooding and erosion of soils, diminishing the quantity and quality of hay that they grow to feed their cattle, and also making it difficult to reliably pasture all areas of the fields as they normally would. So, purchasing the development rights will help facilitate some of these plans that they have for the property. In terms of natural resources, majority of the property consists of statewide important, and prime farmland soils, which contribute to the long-term viability of the property for farming if it remains undeveloped. And almost the entire property overlies Zone 1 and Zone 2 aquifer recharge areas, which are important for water quality. There are also a bit of federal wetlands under the National Wetlands Inventory, and 2 sub-tributaries to the Wappinger Creek run through either side of the property on each side of Schultzville Road. Protection of the property meets a number of priorities for the town of Clinton. Agricultural heritage is documented as being important for the town of Clinton. One of the main goals in the comprehensive plan is to preserve agricultural potential of land by protecting prime and statewide important farmland soils. The comprehensive plan and the open space plan identify the farmhouse and barns as having historic and cultural significance, as Ray mentioned, as the former Webster farm, and identify them on their respective maps of parcels with historic sites in the comp plan and map of cultural resources in the open space plan. The property is identified on the Centers and Green Spaces plan as being located in an area covering more than 1,000 acres of habitat, and the comprehensive plan encourages the use of conservation easements to protect natural resources and preserve agricultural lands. The open space plan also identifies Meadowland Farm specifically as being part of the important farmland area, and it is ranked the highest ranking for its agricultural resources. And the open space plan also encourages the use of purchase of development rights to protect ag properties. And as we all know, the Hudson Valley, especially where we're located, is a popular location for second home estate type and vacation home buyers, as well as for New York City commuters. So farmland is really under threat of conversion to non-farm use, and the purchase of development rights is a helpful tool to save it. In terms of the conservation easement, that's a perpetual agreement that limits the developability of a property, and in this case, really makes it conducive to continued agricultural use. So the easement will permit one subdivision right into two smaller farms on either side of the road. So there's currently one split farmstead area permitted. It, currently encompasses the existing farmstead complex and house on the east side of the road. And then there is one designated on the west side for future structures. There's a farm road that runs west from Schultzville Road and has buried utilities. So it's kind of an appropriate place for future structures to be clustered if there were ever any ag structures needed out there, or if it were a different farm operation in the future. There's also one rural enterprise area that encompasses the existing farm store, and the remainder of the property is considered farm area. So there are kind of some different permissions for what can be built in those areas, a bit more flexible in the clustered farmstead areas. And then in the farm area, it's a bit more restrictive just because it's kind of the remainder of the open space. At this point, we have, although we're gearing up to apply to New York State, as I mentioned, we have already applied to the Dutchess County Partnership for Manageable Growth for 30% of the project costs. And we're waiting to hear if they are willing to fund the project, but we're hopeful that they will be involved. We've had a lot of success in working with the county and getting funding from them in the past. So I don't know, we're happy to take any questions at this point in time.
Okay, any board member have any questions of Erin?
Or if Karin, if you have, you're welcome to jump in if you have anything to add that I may have missed as well.
They all received the package you sent me by email. So
Okay.
they got all the maps and the pictures and the 4 or 5 pages of words to back
Great.
up what you just said. So
Okay.
there may be something else, but that's pretty much covering everything that I can see appropriate for this.
So Erin, maybe you could clarify for other people that this does not take the property off the tax roll, but it's a one-time credit that you and the county are looking to basically subsidize the landowners from not developing the land.
Exactly. Yeah, the property stays on the tax rolls. The landowner is still responsible for ownership and payment of taxes as normal. It's just like you said, a one-time payment compensation for the development rights that are being given up. And that is based on an appraisal that's been done.
Anyone else? Okay, I'd like to thank Erin for her discussion and get into making the motion. I make the motion that the town board approves the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves and supports the Dutchess Land Conservancy's efforts to purchase the Meadowbrook Farms development rights. Supervisor Oberly is authorized to sign the town's letter of support. Is there a second?
Dean Michael, second.
Any further discussion by the board, people? Roll call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. So we'll put the letter together, I'll sign it, and we'll put it in the mail so you have an original, but we'll also scan it so you can have it earlier.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time, consideration, and continued support. It's much appreciated.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so that ends this portion of the presentations and stuff. The next thing is Councilman Witten's going to talk about stolen election road signs.
So as many people know or have seen on social media, and the town board is certainly aware because of emails, we've had sort of a rash of thefts happening in town. And so the town board came together and I wrote a statement and all of us agreed to it, and we published it in a townwide email, and we just thought we'd also read it at the town board meeting so everyone would get the message. We're heading into the final stretch of a national and local election. Many of us are passionate about who we will support in the upcoming elections, and volunteers are working tirelessly to raise awareness for their candidates. That means that we will be seeing signs along our roadways and in the yards of our neighbors, making an effort to raise the name recognition of candidates. Over the last couple of weeks, the town board has been contacted regarding a rash of thefts taking place throughout our community. Lawn signs have been stolen. Some residents have had vehicles drive onto their property in order to run over signs. Several of these incidents have been captured on trail cameras and rightfully handed over to law enforcement for investigation and prosecution. Arrests have been made recently. Stealing your neighbor's lawn sign is a violation of their First Amendment rights to express their opinion. These acts constitute trespassing, theft, and vandalism. Additionally, they violate the New York State Fair Campaign Law 6201.1. But aside from the crimes, this is a violation of common decency and respect for our neighbors. As voters, we must have faith in the process. We must know that all candidates are abiding by campaign laws and following all rules for fair campaigning. In the end, it is the candidate with the most votes who wins, and we all must be mindful of the time and money spent to these ends. The town board encourages our community to be neighborly, be fair, be ethical, behave with integrity, and trust in the process for the benefit of everyone. Elections can be exciting and engaging. They can also be stressful and provoke anger. And it is encouraging when we have so many people who want to participate, but we must all follow the law. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any board member want to say more about it? On to the next topic. Approve updated fee schedule. The changes to the fee schedule include dog fees to match the fees with the SPCA for dog control and housing, and to define the fee for a temporary tent structures. In other words, when a lot of these facilities are putting up a lot of portable tents to house activities, our numbers are way out of line with the rest of the counties, townships. So I make a motion to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves resolution number 43 of 2020, the fee schedule effective October 13th, 2020. Is there a second?
Dean Michael, second.
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. So that'll be published and added to our fee schedules that we have. The next one is the CMA agreement. Okay. The Capital Markets Advisors, which is CMA, has been providing this service from the beginning of the $2 million bond for the moving and improving of the town complex facilities. They report financial information to several governmental agencies, and we got to do that. So it's just something we do every year. I make a motion to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves the financial advisory services agreement between the town of Clinton and Capital Markets Advisors for a one-year term ending October 13, 2021, and authorizes, empowers, and directs the supervisor to sign the agreement on behalf of the town. Is there a second?
Dean Michael, second.
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. Next one is tax surcharges. Councilman Dean is gonna handle it.
Yeah, so items 6 and 7 were both items that had gone to the bar earlier this year. So apparently they weren't happy with the decision, and so they took it to the next level. And so the first one is a property on 211 Allen Road. It's been listed for a while for twice as much as what they're arguing about, but nonetheless, it hasn't sold. So property's only worth as much as it sells for. So An agreement was made, not too significant, from 1.785 to 1.650. So that's a reduction of 135,000. And so I make a motion, be it resolved, the town board approves resolution number 44 of 2020, authorizing the attorney for the town, Shane J. Egan Esquire, to enter into stipulation with the attorney for the petitioner, Alan Raplier Esquire, and the terms of which are set forth in the stipulation index number of 2019-52893 and 2020-52029, and thereby authorize the attorney to sign said stipulation on behalf of the town. Is there a second?
Witten, second.
Second.
Okay.
Further
Any
discussion?
further discussion? Roll
Just out of
call.
just out of curiosity, Dean, because that property, yeah, you said it's been on sale for a while.
Yeah.
What's the current asking price in that property?
I don't have it in front of me, but it's, I think I saw it at one point at 3 million, but
Oh, 1 point. Oh, so it is lower now.
well, no, I think it is lower, but it's still more than the 1.7 that we had. in
Oh,
the-
gotcha.
It would
Okay.
mean though that if it did sell, then the assessment would go up anyway.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, roll call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. Okay, do the next one.
So the next one, like I said, was originally up in front of the bar, but, and even though it was turned down, they recently purchased, this is a new person that purchased this property on September 16th. So they've come back and are arguing for the purchase price, which is a significant amount less than what it was originally assessed for. So that one is going from $108,000 to $575,000, which was the purchase price on September 16th. So that's the reason for this reduction, is solely on the purchase price. And so I make a resolution, be resolved that the town board approves resolution number 45 of 2020, authorizing the town attorney for the town, Shane J. Egan Esquire, to enter into a stipulation with the attorney for the petitioner, Karen Hagstrom Esquire, the terms of which are set forth in the attached stipulation number 2020-52064, and authorize the town attorney to sign said stipulation on behalf of the town. Is there a second?
Cunningham, second.
Any further discussion?
Just a question, Dean. You said that it was on the tax roll for 100,000. You said, and then it sold for 500,000.
No, it's currently being assessed for 808,000.
Okay, I missed. That's what I thought. Okay, I just want to read.
And the reduction is based on the sale price, which was 575,000.
Was this
Property
a?
that's been sitting on the corner for a long time for sale. So
What was this a forced sale at any point that we know?
that I can't answer. Like I said, it's been sitting empty for quite some time. I know they did a lot of work to it over the years, but again, it's been sitting really for several years.
And the only reason is to let everyone know why I asked if it's a forced sale, if it's a forced sale or a foreclosure or short sale on that. Being a bar member for several years, that usually typically doesn't constitute a reduction on that because it's not at market value. It's being sold for a reason that's defined as something else.
Okay, ready for roll call?
Yep.
Roll call, Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. Now we'll go to the next item is an intermunicipal agreement with Dutchess County for purchasing services. This service became available in 2019 to help local governments process bids and group purchase of supplies. It costs $60 per hour plus out-of-pocket costs. We pay nothing until we use them, so it is good to have them available when needed. So that's what this whole thing's about. I make a motion to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves the intermunicipal agreement between Dutchess County and the town of Clinton for central purchasing services effective November 1, 2020 to October 31, 2021, and authorizes and empowers and directs the supervisor to sign the agreement on behalf of the town. Is there a second?
Dean Michael, second.
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. Okay, the next one sounds very exciting, but it's really procedural. About agreement with Dutchess County regarding certain GML 239 referrals, mostly zoning kind referrals, but I'll give you a little background here. This agreement with Dutchess County Planning to reduce the number of zoning variances and planning board actions that need to be sent to them for approval. These are the typical ones which in the past most times are returned to the town with no opinion, a matter of local concern. It saves processing time and labor for all. So that's why they're trying to do this. And it worked pretty successful last year. So they're just trying to reinstate it. Any further discussion before I go to roll call? Okay, roll call. Oberly, aye. Cunningham.
Aye.
Got to second it.
Oh,
I didn't know
second,
we-
honestly. Oberly, aye. Cunningham.
Aye.
Giuliano.
Aye.
Dean Michael.
Aye.
Witten.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, the next one is update records retention and disposition schedule. This is updated occasionally from New York State. It's nothing that we do specifically. We just buy into their retention schedule plan and maybe sometimes change a few of the words that make it consistent with our operation, but it's their schedule. I make a motion to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves adopting the revised MU-1 schedule for records retention, which updates the statutory retention requirements of certain records. Is there a second?
Giuliano, second.
Okay, any further discussion?
I just want to say that the reason they're updating it is because they've extended the retention schedule for items of a municipality in litigation. So if you're in litigation, the MU-1 schedule is extended for that period.
So it's not extended for any other reason, just for litigation.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, roll call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. Okay, the next one is New York State wants us to provide better constable training records to them. So they gave us an agreement that we got to sign. New York State has developed record keeping on the training constables receive yearly. This is to ensure constables get the required yearly training. I make a motion to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves the New York's NYSDCJS use and dissemination agreement related to access to the public safety credentialing and training system for constables effective October 13, 2020, and authorize, empowers, and directs the supervisor to sign the agreement on behalf of the town. Is there a second?
Dean Michael, second. So Ray,
Any further?
our constables, we haven't been providing any training because they're basically working part-time, but still active officers, right?
No, we do training with them too. A lot of it we try to do on a shared basis with the other municipalities that they work. So say they work with 3 municipalities, we would take the bill for that one set of training and split it 3 ways. It depends on the kind of training. If it's shooting, obviously we can't share bullets. You know, once they're shot, they're shot. So
Yeah, I mean, they're firing recertification to keep their ability is something that I think is going to be used throughout all of their uses, whether it be constable or what have you.
And we're working to try to get shared costs on all of this stuff. Any other comments?
Yeah, just a point of discussion here. This is really handling the judicial piece of what they do. They also have to adhere to all of the requirements from the state and federal government for training as well. So one of the things we're going to try to do is work with the other towns to coordinate everything so that we have a pure record for each individual. Because each town is asking them to do the same thing. So we're going to try to work that out.
Yeah. Brett, the lead constable that is coordinating all these people for all the different towns, has been working with me for years on this. So it's just the formalization of the documentation, and he has worked out agreements as to how to save money on all these other training sessions already. So this is more a paper thing than it is a physical training.
It's an administrative thing, but it really saves a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there an added cost to the town regarding this or no?
No,
No.
not that we know of, but who knows? Government may charge us, New York State, because we got to fill out their forms, but it's not listed on anything that I've seen. Roll call vote then. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. Okay. That's that one. Okay. The next one is New York State Transco request. I have a short statement on this one. This one goes real quick. The town attorney is still negotiating the agreement to incorporate the town's temporary road crossings requirement and associated bonding. Once these issues are resolved, it will be brought before the town board for approval. No action will be taken today because it's not finished. So that's done, that one.
Ray, I mean, one of the things that, because I had a conversation with Todd Martin, the highway superintendent, was that some of the wording, and you may be addressing this, but some of the wording sounded like they didn't really have to bring the road back up to our standards if they damaged it. So that would be one of my concerns, to make sure that that's
the
addressed.
whole issue, and we gave our attorney the town law packet discussing all the requirements of, it's about 6 pages, okay? So he's dealing with them because I think we're the only town complaining, but that's okay.
Now, are we also requiring them to be bonded for?
Well, that's part of the thing,
Okay.
the bonding and all, or indemnification. There's all different words depending on what you're trying to do. So that's what he's working on. I just called him today and he says they're playing a lot of telephone tag. This is not going to really take much effect until next spring. So, I mean, it's not something that's got to be decided tomorrow.
Yeah, my only concern, again, also going with Dean's comments, was speaking to Todd, was the wording, the way that they wrote it in there about taking care of the roads. So I have a little reserve on that, and I want to make sure that they get, that there's proper bonding that's in there to cover that. I've seen in other towns over time when they do these type of things, that the roads, what they consider to bring back to normal and what we consider may be 2 different things, and then we're at burden our taxpayers with the cost of going back there and fixing them on that. So I'm a little hesitant right now unless we see the wording change.
Well, you will see the documents before we approve them.
Sure.
They're in flux, so
Yeah,
that's why I'm not even gonna discuss it, because
sure.
I don't know the exact wording that they'll come up with that satisfies us and the Transco people.
Exactly.
Okay, so that takes care of the Transco request. The next one is, I had sent out just a variety of meeting procedures, so we have some structure as we go forward over time on holding these, what I call unusual format of meetings, not in persons and all of that kind of stuff. And I send it out to the board people and basically put it together in 3 categories: workshops, public hearings, and town board meetings, and said which ones will be maybe, in person. Typically, that would be workshops, because there are many workshops historically. If we have more than 2 people present, it's a surprise. Our capacity in the town hall is 18 people in the audience. That meets the 6-foot spacing COVID-19 requirements as put forth by the governor. So that kind of thing would fit. If we think we're going to have a big workshop, then we'll have to do it under Zoom with YouTube on the side for everybody else who wants it, or on Zoom, or they can be on Zoom, whatever is their approach that they want to do. And then we have public hearings, depending on if they're inconsequential. Sometimes you have real small ones where there's really not much interest, and we can do it in person. But so what I did was just identify these so that we would be able to move forward, and we would have the staffing and have the equipment set up in the proper fashion for each one of these things, without always saying, hey, what are we going to do tomorrow? Who's going to be on the control panel, or whatever it is? Because that's what we've been sort of doing recently. I'm just trying to structure it, that's all. And we could deviate occasionally from it, but this represents a pattern, okay? So I don't know if anybody else had any comments or anything else. Nobody called me, wrote me, or anything else, so I don't know if anybody...
Yeah, I mean, the biggest concern is, as we talked 6 months ago, was the fact that, having someone basically disrupt the meeting just to be destructive, not to be any, provide any good information. And so that was the concern that we talked about 6 months ago.
You're talking regarding doing the Zoom meetings, keeping it.
Well, having a Zoom meeting and having public discussion.
Mm-hmm.
My feeling has always been that on a Zoom meeting, it's much easier for us to kick somebody out than if they were live and deciding to be disruptive.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You just turn them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's flexible and all, but it just gives us a structure to work.
Oh, I'm not saying not do it. I was just saying what the concern was. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the following resolution. Be resolved that the town board approves the procedures for town meetings dated October 6th, 2020, due to COVID causing a suspension of open meetings law by the governor. Is there a second?
Dean Michael, second.
Yeah, and if we find out it's a better way of doing something, we can change it. It's not like a local law where you pay a lot of effort and time, cost.
To be quite honest, Ray, I think it'll actually get probably more people to participate. So rather than someone having to leave their home after dinner and come back to the the town hall, it may be something that more people would participate. So it may be a positive, for the fact that we'll get some more.
As I say, I was just looking
get
to
involved.
put a process in place so we all know how to run this stuff. Okay, roll call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. Now, an ancillary to this, okay, is in April, we passed a motion saying there were no public comments. Now, this would I'm gonna do the next motion, which will rescind that one so we can have public comments in the meetings. Okay? Like we did in the past. So, we're slowly growing into this process and working our way into it and making it work. So in November, town board meeting would be the first time we'd have public comments during the meeting, beginning and the end, like we did before. I make a motion that the town board approves the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves rescinding the resolution of May 12th, 2020 of no public comments during town board meetings, which was effective April 14th, 2020. Is there a second?
Dean Michaels, second.
Any discussion? Roll call. Oberly, aye. Cunningham.
Aye.
Giuliano.
Aye.
Dean Michael.
Aye.
Witten.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, now we get into some of the, oh yeah, here's a different one. Okay, Councilwoman Cunningham has the next motion.
Okay, we are not, the agenda called for discussion on PPE equipment. That'll be held over till November. So I'd like to talk about resignations. We have a resignation from Damian Potts, who was in the highway department.
Wait, are you skipping the one on PPE equipment?
We're not going to do that tonight.
Okay, I just wanted to.
Right, we'll do it in the November meeting. Okay,
Going into the resignation, fine.
okay.
No problem.
So the resignation is we've got a couple. One is Damian Potts, who was in the highway department. He was classified as a highway laborer, seasonal, and then during the winter he was an HMEO. He has decided to leave the town for a better opportunity. So I would like to make a motion that the town board approve the resignation of Damian Potts as a full-time highway laborer, seasonal HMEO, effective October 19th, 2020.
Is there a second?
Dean Michaels.
Giuliano, second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten.
Aye.
Motion carried. Off to the next one.
Okay, the next one is Judy Malmstrom. Most people in the town know her. She's for years worked in the town at various positions. However, for many years has been the clerk in the assessor's office. And Judy has reached a point in retirement for the state where she can actually draw on that retirement. So as a result, she is going to resign her position, and then we will talk about her coming back. So I would ask the town board to approve the resignation of Judy Malmstrom for the purpose of retirement as a part-time clerk in the assessor's office effective October 9th, 2020.
Is there a second?
Dean Michaels, second.
Any discussion? I have a discussion thing. I have not seen the letter of resignation. When do we get it?
Pardon?
I have not seen a letter of resignation.
I have it.
I have not seen and gotten it.
Okay, she said she sent it to you and she gave me a copy.
I have never seen it.
Okay, well, I'll put it on your
Now,
desk.
unless it's under some unusual name that, on our email that I don't recognize.
Maybe, I don't know, but it was sent to you and then she copied me. So I will put it on your desk in the morning. Or I'll resend it to you,
Okay, thank you.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need a vote on
Roll
it.
call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried.
Okay.
Next one.
So Judy has also agreed to stay on in the town, be rehired in the town in the current position she's in. as the clerk to the assessor for a time, even though she's retired from the New York State system. And because there's so much that has to be documented and training has to be done, that we've agreed that she will stay on till at least the end of the year, and then her decision will be made. So I've asked the board to make a motion to ask the board to reappoint Judy Malmstrom as a part-time clerk in the assessor's office effective October 14, 2020, at the rate of pay of $17.89 per hour for a 10-hour week. And that's currently her salary.
Okay.
Michael, second.
Is there a second?
Dean Michael.
Okay. I assume those are the same numbers that she's working right now.
Right.
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. Approval of warrants.
Before Dean does anything, I just wanted to mention something. If people would check the web, because we do have and will have several openings in the town, okay? And they'll be posted on the website. So if you have interest in working in the town or know someone who is, we'd appreciate some feedback, okay?
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Warrants. I make a motion be resolved, the town board approves the October 13, 2020 general fund warrant, vouchers number 427 through 490, totaling $50,338.76, and the highway fund general warrant, vouchers number 207 through 231, totaling $96,767.55. Is there a
is there a
second?
second?
Giuliano, second.
Just, there was a couple of warrants that weren't signed. Michael and I signed them, but the approvals weren't signed, so we need to make sure that they were done.
Okay,
We'll get them done.
Thank you.
roll call. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. Motion to move funds. This is done every month just to balance accounts, because we're never precise when we do a budget. We try to be, but it changes over the months. I make a motion that the town board approves the following resolution. Be it resolved that the town board approves resolution number 46 of 2020, a motion to move funds at the October 13, 2020 town board meeting. Is there a second?
Dean Michael, second.
Any discussion? Roll call. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried. The next one is the approval of the supervisor's report. I just got it late this afternoon, and it's a little different process of downloading it, and I gotta tell you how to do it, but I physically have a copy and the town clerk has a copy right now. I make a motion that the town board approves the September 2020 supervisor's report. Is there a second?
Giuliano, second.
Okay, roll call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten.
No. I'll wait until I see it.
Okay, no, okay. Motion carried. Any further business before the town board, before we go into adjournment?
Really quick, I just wanted to mention that last year, the Golden Russet Cafe gathered a whole bunch of apples from people throughout the community through the month of October. And they created what they called the Clinton Community Harvest Cider, which they were selling throughout this summer. Like last year, they got them in October. They made the cider and they were selling it this summer. And half the proceeds went to the library. It was a check for over $1,000 that was donated to the library last week. And so we thank the Golden Russet for that. But also, they are currently, again, now collecting apples. So if anybody has old apples or unused apples or ugly apples that they don't want, you can dump them at the Golden Russet. They already have more than they had gathered last year, so it could be more money, and they'll donate a portion of the proceeds back to the community next year after they sell it. So thanks to the Golden Russet, and bring your apples to them.
Good. Any
So
other-
I have also a comment, maybe Michael can answer this or maybe someone else, but I know that with the political signs that will be taken, I heard that a couple of the highway cones were taken, and I heard
Yes.
there was some damage to one of the cemetery signs.
Well, one of the cemetery signs that I was fixing came back to me broken in half, but I don't think that was a vandalism thing. I think it was while they were removing it from the post.
Okay,
was
'cause that leads me to
35-year-old
my second question, because someone had called me today and said they had just visited the cemetery and all the flags were gone. Was that something that we removed, or?
The cemetery committee didn't remove them, but it is like if the VFW puts flags out, it's actually part of their schedule to go and pick them up again as well. So they
Okay.
remove them.
Someone had called because they said they went there and there was no flags and they were concerned
Yeah,
that something was going on.
that they actually probably stayed there longer than the normal.
Oh, yeah, I mean, typically you're supposed to pick it up right away, but
Yeah.
it'd stay there quite a bit.
Yeah, I wasn't informed though.
Any other discussion? Okay, then we'll go into adjournment. I make a motion that the town board adjourns the meeting. Is there a second?
Dean Michael, second.
Okay, roll call vote. Oberly, aye. Cunningham,
Aye.
Giuliano,
Aye.
Dean Michael,
Aye.
Witten,
Aye.
motion carried.